The movie tie-in video game, The Amazing Spider-Man, is far from a atrocious spy video game. I mean, it does have some flaws, but I will also say it's not great either. Well, I will say there have been worse Spider-Man video games out there. So the story of this one is actually an epilogue to the movie, taking place a couple of months later. Peter Parker has to come up with a cure in order to stop a cross-species outbreak that's loose in New York City. And from there, you got a game that's alright. You know, when it comes to this game, it's always been a mixed bag for me. Sure, the gameplay mechanics like the Rug Rush was fun, and the voice acting was an odd choice. They seriously couldn't get Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, or the guy who played the Lizard to voice the roles in this video game. I mean, the actors that they did get, they're fine, but I always wonder why those three actors I just mentioned just couldn't voice the roles for this game. Story-wise, it seems to be all over the place. Like, the main antagonist is Alistair Smythe, and it feels like Spider-Man made some questionable decisions when trying to save New York City. Now, the combat and stealth mechanics, it was nice to see considering it was copying the formula from the Batman Arkham games. And it made sense considering Spider-Man can do more than Batman ever could. Nonetheless though, this game ain't perfect, but it is still entertaining despite the issues it has. I have to give Beatnox credit. This was the third Spider-Man game they developed after Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions and Spider-Man Edge of Time. Like, this game ain't perfect. There's a lot of issues like I mentioned before. Oh my goodness. Some things that kept me from replaying this one is the mere fact after you beat the entire game and get done with all the side missions, there's nothing left to do but to swing and see. That is underwhelming. The point of an open world Spider-Man game, you're supposed to swing as Spider-Man and occasionally fight crime. But once that's done with, it's nothing more to do. One thing I will say though is that when it comes down to voice cast, it's decent. But why Spider-Man acts like an idiot sometimes in this video game? Hey, let me go break out Kirk Connors, the guy who turned the whole city into freaking lizards in the first movie. And I find it hysterical that there's actually a cross-species rhino. And well, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie had a man in the suit, and so I just thought that was pretty funny. Another thing that I like to point out is that when it comes down to the gameplay and everything that goes on with that, I mentioned before, it's alright, nothing, overhyped or whatever. In a lot of ways, this game is probably underrated. I don't think it's like downright bad, but it's not really much replay value to it. And graphically, the graphics could have been a whole lot better. One thing I do want to point out is that there's actually comic books you can read once you collect enough comic books in the open world. And I always thought that was a cool feature, and a lot of video game movie tie-ins should have did that. And so it's a nice feature to read Spider-Man comic books, what I'm trying to say. Overall though, this one is not fun per se because the story doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And well, it's alright. When it comes down to it, this is a alright Spider-Man video game. I'm giving this video game a 7 out of 10. This one could have been better if it had more polish, but because this is a movie tie-in game, than they was on a time schedule. And the Spider-Man suits you can unlock in this game are pretty cool to look at and play through, but other than that, this one doesn't offer anything more in my opinion. I will say it was cool to hear the voices of Bruce Campbell and Stan Lee. But man, the villains in this game, they were kind of underwhelming. There was some C-list villains. I get why they couldn't use the top tier super villains in this game, but still, Iguana or Vermin. It's not bad boss battles, but there is much to be desired, to say the least. At the end of the day though, if you somehow never played this game, you could check it out, but in my opinion, there are far better Spider-Man video games out there. And that is my review of the video game, The Amazing Spider-Man. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this game. My review of the Amazing Spider-Man 2 video game will be coming up real soon on my channel. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.